Hey folks, Ray from Rainmaker.com here. Today with the new Garmin inReach Mini that was just announced today. Now you may look at this and think, well, it looks like a bit of a outdoorsy hiking thing, and that is definitely true. But what's more interesting to me is the applications in endurance sports, in particular mountain biking, that this is really fascinating for. So what this is actually not just a satellite GPS tracker, but also a satellite communications device, meaning that it does not depend on cellular connectivity for communicating with the outside world. It instead uses satellites, the Iridium network, to go ahead and do that. So these sort of devices you see all over the place in the mountaineering realm. Everest, the Garmin guys are saying they'll see up to 500 of these devices a day on Everest at the peak of the season, which is absolutely nuts. But this is really the first time they've made it tiny. In the past, it's a full handheld thing, like almost triple the size of this. It's really big and bulky, versus now it's this little thing that just you can use a carabiner clip and clip on wherever you want. But more importantly, it now talks to your Garmin devices, your other wearables. So in this case, I've got it paired up to a 935, a Forerunner 935, and I can pretty much leverage almost all the same functionality from this using this. So these two pair via AMP+, and then they go ahead and they talk to the outside world. So I can actually send text messages using this, even typing out crazy little text messages on my watch and have it send via satellite phone where I have no connectivity. But first, let me just kind of walk you through some of the features of this and also some of the pitfalls too, things that aren't quite as perfect as I might like. Okay, so here is the unit itself. What you'll notice, you got some up and down buttons on this side. There is a micro USB charging port right there. On the other side, you have your SOS button. Now keep in mind, this SOS button is actually protected. I can't press it like this and have it go in. Instead, you need to lift off this cover right here to go ahead. I'm trying to do this one-handed, sorry about that. There we go. Lift off the cover, and you can see below is a secret SOS button. And the reason why it is covered, because if you press that button, a chain reaction of events will occur, which could and definitely will likely result in them sending out search and rescue teams and everything from like the Coast Guard, wherever else, wherever you are, they're going to come and find you. And so there's a whole series of things that happen with that SOS event. First, trying to contact you on this device itself. So they'll go ahead and use the messaging on this device to find out how much of an emergency it is. So they're going to contact people that you've listed as emergency contacts, and then they'll go ahead, they'll try to contact you. It'll escalate from there if none of those things work out, and ultimately if you're not responding or whatnot, they're going to send out the whole fleet towards you. So cool stuff, super powerful stuff, just be aware. Also up here on the top corner is a little hook if you want to hook it on within a lanyard, though it does come with this on the back already. So this would really be if you swap out this for like a mountain bike mount right there, you can still carabiner it on, or sorry, lanyard it on, so it's safe. OK button, back button, and then we got the unit itself. So here we go and go walk through some of the features. At this point, I've ridden 2.7 miles, so not terribly far, but just it shows the distance there. I can go down. I can see the messages I've sent back and forth here. So in this case, you can predefine contacts that you send to on the web portal or using your mobile phone, because this will actually pair to your mobile phone using Bluetooth, and then you can type out longer messages there even without cellular connectivity. So you can kind of use that like as an extended keyboard, if you will. I go down here, the last mail check, it's like your old AOL mailbox, was 8 minutes ago. It checks every 10 minutes by default. You can increase that or decrease that. Same with like track points, you can change that. I can manually override that and just select mail right there and pressing OK. And you can see again the tracking, the average distance, my current location, my altitude, the speed if I was moving somewhere would show that, but I'm not. And my location, the weather, the last time I checked it right now, or was stated for 69 degrees 22 hours ago in the precipitation. And we're back to this. So I'm going to click on the OK button here. And you can see these things called presets. Now presets are basically predefined messages, 3 of them that you've set up. There's 3 in total, only 3, just 3. And they have things like send help, or you can kind of customize these to agree. And the reason why the presets are different than something I'll talk about in a second, these don't take away from like your data plan. So if you use presets for certain data plans that you have, they don't cost anything. Versus if you type out entire messages, they then cost something. And the entire data plan concept, you do pay a subscription fee for this, is pretty reasonable, and they have a lot of options. I'll throw some of those on the screen right now, but they're actually fairly flexible, and you can like turn on and off the device for a set period of time if you're doing like a long event or something. But anyway, so these presets are there. If I was to go to preset number 3 here, I could send it. I could see the details of it. I won't send it right now, but I will look at some other stuff. We'll go into stop tracking. You can stop tracking. I'm not going to do that because I would stop my ride. New message. So this is where I can select a contact first. So I'm going to select a contact. I can go down here and see these different numbers and names there, contacts and so on. And then I can go ahead and send it to it. So I can choose, I think I'm right here, my email, for example. There we go. Select this up here. So done. and then I can go and write the message if I wanted to. So you can see I can write this big thing out. It would take forever, but that's actually all right, because the goal here is, and you can see some autocomplete right there. It's all right, because the goal in this situation isn't that you're like having a long, text message with your loved one back and forth for hours on end. It's really to get sort of that critical information out to someone if you're in trouble, or if you just reached like the end of your day campsite, or just a check-in for whatever the case may be. So it's totally understandable that it's going to be kind of clumsy. And then you've got down here a quick text. Let's try to say that 5 times fast. And if you go to these are all things that I can create online on the web portal and have them go ahead and automatically, get this in focus a little better, have them automatically show up on the device here. So you can see I can't reply now, write later, and you just tap these and you're good to go. I mean, there's a ton of them in here. You can like create your own, like urgent, send beer, whatever the case may be. You create these online ahead of time, and they're available on your device to use out in the wilderness. So it just saves you from having to type something up. And there's a lot of them here that I think can pretty much be used all the time. So like this one here, probably for me to use quite a bit. So I would send one of these right here. I'm just going to say I'm checking in, everything goes okay. I click send. And then it's going to send it to the message I have right there, and at that point it's off and done. So pretty quick and simple. And you can see right there it's got the little icon indicating that it's going to send a message here, and now it's done. And then you also have the location icon and the battery icon. This unit should last about 54 hours, I believe it is. That is on battery. And if you increase the frequency of the update to every 2 minutes, then that'll decrease a little bit versus the every 10 minutes, of course. This thingy up here, by the way, is the satellite antenna, the Iridium connected antenna. Again, going straight to satellite, no cellular chip in this, no dependency on cellular, nothing at all. But last but not least, I want to show you on the Garmin unit how this looks. We'll just toss that down there for right now. So here is a Garmin 935 with a special beta firmware, but this will be released soon enough to all of the Fenix 5 series and 935 watches. And if I go down here, I'm going to go through the widgets now, you'll see a new option for the inReach device itself. Eventually I got there anyways. There we go. So inReach. So in this case, you see distance 4.4 kilometers. My watch is in kilometers, not miles, versus the other one was in miles. See if I can get there. Sorry, the sun is super bright here. The timer, and then I can go down and even see the actual Iridium message itself by just simply clicking this button up here to go into that. And you can see there's the message. There I'm checking in. I can open it up. I can reply again. I can look at my past messages or hello. So pretty much just like texting. It's actually kind of funny that you can do more with this with the inReach device than you can natively with texting. I wish they could do all this stuff there. If I go back here, I could send a preset to someone just like before. So you see those preset 1, 2, 3 messages, which are different than the quick ones. Remember that. There's also the initiate SOS. It's not implemented on this particular beta one right now, but that is there. And then down below, I can see the tracking are on and off. Now, this gets into some of the challenges here. Actually, let me switch back to cameras. So before we get to some of my thoughts on the platform integration piece, one thing I do want to mention that's really, really cool is that on the inReach device, you can actually specify a course or a route that is then uploaded to the tracking link. So friends and family that may not know precisely where you're going can go ahead and see that tracking link of where you should be versus where you are, which is super useful. Because like when I upload or when I send a live tracking link to my wife right now on my Edge or other Garmin devices, she doesn't really have any context for where I'm going. She just sees where I am. So it's super helpful to see where you're going as well as where you are and see if those two diverge for some odd reason. But that does start to get into a little bit of the challenges with this device. In particular, that this inReach comes from DeLorme, which is a company Garmin acquired a couple years ago now, primarily for their satellite technology, but also for their subscription and building platform. And DeLorme has been around for many, many years doing really cool stuff. But in any acquisition, there's challenges to getting those IT systems merged behind the scenes. And the track is a perfect example of that. You will have on your Edge or your Forerunner a track, course or route that you're following, but that has no real connection to this here. There's a manual sync process that you can do behind the scenes between the two platforms of the inReach and Garmin Connect. but it's still kind of kludgy at best. There's no like connectivity for me uploading a route on this or a course on my Forerunner or my Fenix device and having it automatically be the same course here. Garmin understands that. I talked to them a little bit and said that's kind of a bit of a wonk thing, and they get it. It's just like any acquisition, it takes time, though I think this become more and more important as they look to have the connectivity between these two devices be more prominent. That also gets into the next thing, which is that there is no connectivity for the Garmin Edge devices yet. So it's only the Fenix 5 and Forerunner 935. The reason the 935 is because that shares essentially the same code base as the Fenix 5, so it's a sort of kind of a package deal there. So that's cool that that works there, but I really want to see on the Edge device. I think places like this here is something that's perfect for this. There was plenty of times in the last couple of days that I've been out and about here in the wilderness that my cellular phone connectivity just dropped out, versus this never dropped out. And that gets to things like live tracking and whatnot. So I'm hoping to see them add connectivity to the Edge device. And talking to them, they totally get that there's a huge market for people out here that want that connectivity on their device. And they seem like they want to make that happen. They don't want to commit to a time frame or a yes or a no. But everyone from I talked to, from the product team all the way up to virtually the very, very top of the company, agrees that is a huge edge case, or a huge scenario there. That's super interesting. You could literally call it an edge case. Get it? Anyways, hopefully that'll happen soon and be just as clean as this. I think that'd be awesome to have it there. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, go and whack that like button at the bottom there, as well as the subscribe button. I appreciate it. There's plenty more sports technology goodness coming here in May. I think something, depending which day this video goes launched live, would have launched like yesterday or tomorrow, the next couple days. Some really cool cycling stuff. And then as we build into Eurobike, there's more companies that'll be announcing stuff both before then and of course at Eurobike, which now is in July, by the way. So different time of year this year than years past. Have a good one.